What's good? It's your boy Twiz. Oh shit! Hey, I just grabbed that man's nuts. I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I find myself in a position to give you information that no one else is touching on, that no one else is talking about. So let's start with what we know. Microsoft dropped a bombshell. They bought Zenimax Media. That means they own Doom, Fallout, The Evil Within, Elder Scrolls, Dishonored, Prey, and dozens of more studios. These are now under the Microsoft umbrella. That's the stuff we already know, and that's the stuff that everyone else is already talking about. So yes, this does make the Xbox ecosystem even more tempting. But there's more to it than Microsoft just acquiring more games and more studios. There's way more significance to this purchase besides just expanding their game library. This is about the future of gaming. You know what? I'll let one of the companies that was acquired by Microsoft talk for themselves. Here's what Bethesda has to say about it.
Hi, I'm James Altman, Director of Publishing at Bethesda.
And I'm Robert Duffy, Chief Technology Officer at id Software. Tonight we have some exciting new technology to show you that can dramatically improve gaming for millions.
So let me pause right there. Whenever you read or hear about this acquisition, do you hear anything about new technology that can dramatically change gaming for millions? Does anybody talk about the changes in technology, or do they just talk about the studios and the games? I'm aware that I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but don't you find it kind of funny that nobody's mentioning this new technology?
So for the past 2 decades, we've approached game development not by looking at what is possible today, but with a vision of what can be possible tomorrow. And at Bethesda, we're proud of our legacy of innovation, where again and again we've changed the industry.
Again, mentioning technology to change gaming for the future. Don't you find it kind of strange how no journalist talks about it? They only talk about the stuff that's right in front of you. They only talk about the low-hanging fruit. Aha, they got more studios, more games. What about improving technology for millions? How come nobody else is talking about it?
Innovation and creativity is in our DNA, and all of these advances were done with one goal in mind: to improve player experiences. So tonight, we have exciting new technology to announce.
We're going to show you the result of years of research and development. Cutting-edge game engine-based technology we've developed specifically for game streaming.
Did you catch that?
Cutting-edge game engine-based technology we've developed specifically for game streaming. Game streaming.
Game streaming? Wait a minute. That almost sounds like something they might use for xCloud. Tell me more.
Now, we'd like to introduce you to Orion. Orion is a tremendous breakthrough in streaming technology. It is our name for a group of patented technologies that optimize game engines for performance in a cloud environment. Orion can work with any game engine and will improve player experiences no matter which game you're playing or whether you're streaming on Stadia, on xCloud, or another streaming platform.
They claim this technology will improve streaming performance no matter what streaming technology you're using, be it Stadia or xCloud or anything else. Damn, I just kicked my own teammate. He'll be alright though. xCloud has officially launched, and it's no secret that it is not as good as a streaming platform as Stadia. I'm not saying that xCloud isn't doable. I'm not saying that xCloud isn't good enough. But for most people, they have lower latency and definitely higher fidelity when they're playing on Stadia. This is not a knock at Microsoft. Google specializes in video streaming, so it's no doubt that they have a leg up in this competition. Microsoft, however, specializes in games. They have way more games. Microsoft has the games, Google has the tech. But something like this, something like Orion, can potentially bridge the gap. What if Orion can be what Microsoft needs to go from 720, 30 FPS on phones to 4K, 60 FPS on all devices? Let's see how this technology works.
So, how does Orion work?
The exciting game streaming services you've been hearing so much about have largely focused on hardware solutions to address the complex challenges of streaming. There's a lot of words. We used our expertise in developing game engine software and took a different approach. By incorporating Orion technology at the game engine level, we're able to stream game content up to 20% faster per frame, leading to a dramatic reduction in latency. In addition, an Orion-enabled game can stream with up to 40% lower bandwidth. And happily, for game developers, Orion technology is easy to integrate with your game build with our SDK.
So let's recap on this. 20% reduction in latency, up to 40% reduction in bandwidth usage, and it's also easy for developers to integrate into their games. And this technology right here is now fully owned and controlled by Microsoft. Think about this for a second. Currently, xCloud is capped at 720, 30 FPS. With just the bandwidth savings they get from this technology alone, they can easily push 1080 60 while also getting less latency than they currently have. And if it truly is as easy to implement as they lead us to believe, I don't see any reason why they would have a hard time convincing game developers to implement this in their games for xCloud.
But what does that mean for you? It means that streaming games will be faster and better with Orion. And Orion substantially reduces the cost of streaming for players and for publishers. So it won't matter if your friends and family are sucking up all the bandwidth, or if you live far away from a data center. With Orion, you'll still be able to stream your game at max settings.
Now, I want you to keep this in mind. They claim that it has these benefits while it works for all platforms, meaning they did not take the time to specialize and fine-tune any one platform. They literally made something that's one size fit all. Stop taunting me, motherfucker! Now that it's owned by Microsoft, what if they stop working on the Stadia build? What if they start working on the PlayStation build? What if they start working on the bits and pieces that allow everything to work? What if they put their full effort on squeezing the most out of xCloud and Windows? I guarantee they can get even more gains and savings from it. If Microsoft can build on this technology while at the same time adding more data centers and improving their current servers, they can very easily close the gap between them and Stadia when it comes to performance in the cloud. Now, if you need any more proof that this tech is legit, let me show you what it was capable of doing last year.
Now, as with any new computer technology, one must ask the question, can it play Doom?
Good question. Can it stream an unrelenting, fluid, first-person shooter with native 4K resolution at 60 frames per second? Let's see.
I'd like to introduce Shale Williams, tech specialist from id Software, who is showing you just that here live on stage.
So Shale is streaming an Orion-enabled Doom 2016 right now to that mobile device. As you can see, there is no reduction in visual fidelity. That's Doom at 60 frames per second without perceptible latency.
This video was shot last year during E3, and that gameplay right there already looks smoother than what xCloud currently is. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that Microsoft is not going to integrate that into the core of xCloud. Wait. Before I forget, let me show you even more proof that this technology is legit. Give me a sec. I remember a while back when there was a patch for Doom Eternal on Stadia. I remember everybody saying that right after the patch, the game felt smoother and more responsive, and people done tests to find out that it actually had reduced latency. This is the only game I know on Stadia that had such dramatic reduction in latency and improvement in quality. Nobody really had an explanation for what happened other than them improving their game engine. I actually believe it was Orion. Let me show you.
The results are in for Doom Eternal after the latency reduction patch. That is a big difference. Before the patch, the latency was around 130 to 155 milliseconds. Edit, correction from the YouTube channel. The first measurements were around 120 milliseconds. Still a 37 milliseconds reduction.
Here, let me crunch the numbers real quick. That is a 28% reduction in latency. That's a little bit more than what they claimed a year ago. So as you can see, the technology is improving. So my final thoughts on this. I'm gonna take a little nap here. Don't you taunt me! I don't believe this acquisition from Microsoft was done simply to get more games in their catalog. I think this is what Microsoft was after. Microsoft says the cloud is the future. The whole game industry says the cloud is the future. Microsoft was lagging in tech compared to its competitor, which is Stadia. Microsoft name dropped Amazon and Stadia as their competitors. This will quickly bridge the gap between Microsoft and Stadia. I think this is what they were after, not the games. The games were a nice little bonus. The games were icing on the cake. The technology, the streaming technology is what they were after. Even if I'm wrong, and the technology is the icing on the cake and they were really after the games, don't you find it kind of strange that nobody's talking about it? Nobody's making a big deal. Nobody's connecting the dots between Orion and xCloud, which I clearly pointed out to you is definitely going to happen. There's no way Microsoft is not going to take advantage of this tech. In fact, I challenge you right now to find another YouTuber or to find a journalist who's even talking about Orion and xCloud due to this acquisition. Notice they don't even mention it. These people were in such a hurry to get out their articles every day or to put out their daily videos, they don't even take the time to do their research, man. I find it really annoying that somebody like me, who doesn't even take YouTube seriously, has to point this out. And shit, while we're in the subject, let's look at this jackass's take from last year.
They also talked about innovative technology. It was some sort of thing called Orion, and it seems like it's some sort of new streaming interface or something. But, I mean, why are you talking about Orion and streaming tech while you're on the stage when you could be bragging about your games? Where are the games?
Well, gee, dude, maybe when they were talking about Orion and bragging about it on stage, maybe they were trying to get developers and people in the industry hyped up. I don't know, so maybe Microsoft might buy them for $7.5 billion. Maybe that was the point behind it. It amazes me that you watched that and you didn't see how impressive that tech was, dude. Your name is literally Dreamcast Guy, which I take it that means that you like the Sega Dreamcast, which was the first major console to even try to go online. We struggled through the Sega channel to play through 56K modems, laggy matches that were damn near unplayable most of the time. And now here we are in the future, playing games in a stream over the internet. How does that not impress you? Somebody like you, who lived in the era of 56K modems and disconnects. How does playing the game in the cloud not impress you? The technology has come so far and you have seen it grow. That's what disturbs me about you. That's what I don't really like about you. Look, man, I don't usually like insulting people, but I've come to the conclusion that either you're just saying whatever it takes to get the clicks, or you're just fucking stupid. Even if you don't think the tech is ready, an old school gamer like you should be impressed by this shit, dude. Man, with that said, I'm your boy Twiz. Don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Laters, y'all.
They tweeted after the fact. Yeah, they tweeted after the fact and said, announcing Orion, a patented collection of software technologies that will optimize game engines for superior performance in a streaming environment, which to me means nothing.
I swear, man, modern day game journalism is a fucking joke. Fuck you! Oh my god, yes!